Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere, and I am going to continue to mold over the nose. This one not too bad. I think I need to adjust the nostril a little bit, but this one, nah, I don't like this one. This one, not too bad. And I remember this is where I realized that I was just too tired to keep trying yesterday, so we don't talk about this one. But yes, I don't like this one. So I figure that I will go in and try to do that today. Fortunately, I don't think I'm too far off. I think the nostril is just a little bit too small. I think I squished it just a little bit too hard. But it's just so interesting to me that just because of this small little curve right here, this spot right here, suddenly turning everything to the left without making her nose look super bulbous and round is actually kind of hard. So I'll probably be adjusting all of the left turns on the nose. Just, I don't know, there's something about it. There's something about it just making it look way too round to be her. And it bothers me, but I don't know how to fix it. So all I can really do is just do some science until everything is fine. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Maybe if I can just fix the top here. So this is where I say, art is hard. There's been many times in my life where I've just looked at something and I know it's wrong. I know there was something off here. Yet here I am, just unable to fix it, unable to figure out the problem. Makes it so hard to fix when you don't know what's wrong. It really does. Okay, but I think it's getting better here, so I'm gonna keep following this line. All I'm really trying to do is make the tip of her nose kinda keep that little curve of lightness there. Just when she's facing this way, it's a little bit bigger. Just due to the nature of how noses turn. Is this right? Okay, I think the top of the nostril, I think it's still going a little bit too low. I remember struggling a little bit with that yesterday as well. So I'm not surprised that I still need to make a couple more adjustments, but yes, indeed, consulting the mesh here, I see that this is the vertex that kind of controls the corner of that, so you can see where all of those little lines converge. And you can see that it is indeed, if I move it nice and slowly, gradually getting lower and lower. So I think if I just raise this back up a little bit, that should fix a lot of the problem. Okay, yeah, that's looking better. How's the one on the right side doing? I remember looking at it and not really seeing any problems, so I didn't really think about it. But yeah, I think the right side looks pretty okay. Do I have any Y adjustment to the nostrils there? I do here. No, that seems okay. For a second there, I just thought that the nostrils were moving downward a little bit. But no, I think it's just, I think that's just how I moved the shadows below the nostrils there. So I think I might have put them a little bit too low. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it looks like they're going down. As always, art is hard. Lots and lots of little things that I just keep seeing here. It's okay, I'll get there. I'll get there, and eventually I'll be able to turn her front bang back on, and I won't just have this silly marketer forehead here, where things are supposed to be covered up. Just random strand. Coming out of nowhere. Oh, man. The way models look when you have to hide part of it in order to see what you're doing. Gets me every time. It really does. Okay, and that side seems fine. Okay, cool. So I think that's doing better. Is there anything else that I want to touch up here? Maybe just a little bit on the outer edge here. You know what this is telling me? That next time I decide to go rig something, I should never draw noses again. Nah, knowing me, I'm totally gonna draw noses again, it's fine. I'll just try to cut them a little bit better this time. Or next time, I should say. I've been thinking about why certain parts of this model have been kind of difficult to work with. And I think part of it is that once you introduce transparency and whatnot, things get a bit messy. Like if I were to turn off her head here, you can see that the nose parts are not entirely opaque. They're a little bit see-through. And I think that might be causing me problems. And, you know, even besides that, the head shadows. Yeah, I guess, well, the head's off. I can't actually turn the head shadows on. But yes, the head shadows. Very, very light. And that kind of thing. Very light, very transparent. It does make it harder, but I'm... At least in the case of the head shadows, I don't know how else I would do it. But in the case of the nose, I think I had options. I think I could have made it just a bit more opaque and maybe even separated it into 2 layers. I'm not sure. But I do think that there are things I could have done. It's okay, I'll have things to try for the next model that I want to do. I know what I'm going for in these lower noses, but man. There's still a bit of weirdness to them. I just think it's due to the nature of where this little light goes. Because now I kind of want it at the bottom, like the ball of her nose is going to be... Yeah, it's going to be down, way down. Like, down enough that I made her nostrils disappear entirely. So maybe it's actually here that I have it wrong. Let me think about this for a second. So, we have a nose like this. In order for the nostrils to be hidden, yeah, this part kind of goes all the way down. I do think that is correct. Because if you think of this as the tip of her nose, the kind of circle area right in the middle here. It does mean that, indeed, if the nostrils disappear, that this part is almost... It's not quite at the very bottom of the nose now, but it's pretty close. Yeah, so that makes sense. So... maybe if I do just a little bit of adjustment here, and put that little light spot, that little round spot, just a little bit higher. Just a little bit. Maybe it'll look a little bit nicer. Yeah, I think so, actually. I think so. Okay, so that might help me line things up with the lower left too. Maybe even the lower right if I decide I want to fix it up a little bit more. Okay. Actually, that does make things look a little bit better when I turn it to the left. Okay, that's actually good to know, that the problem wasn't even on my lower left turn. It was just on the bottom turn. Sometimes it's like that, but now that I have that fixed, maybe I can get this the way that I want. That nostril might still be a little bit high up, but... well, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Let's do one thing at a time. I noticed that the very tip here felt a little bit low on the lower left, so I wanted to try to align them. Oh yeah, this doesn't seem too bad. But I actually want to check one thing here. Okay. I was wondering for a second if it was a little bit off-center, but you can see that my translation X is this first value is X, the next one's Y, the next one's Z. That the X is not... it's 0, so nothing is moving left and right. Yeah, this seems okay. Alright. In that case, I think it is time to go back to my upward turns. I actually think these two are looking pretty good. Whee. Maybe her nose looks a little bit big. I think I actually will reduce the size of the nostrils just a little bit. They're looking just a tad large. Let's put it down to like 30. 1.3. Okay, cool. Easy fix there. Okay. Might need to adjust that. Not the shadow around her nostril a bit. I just realized when I turned over that things looked a bit funny. Okay. Because to be fair, I did just change the size of her nostrils, so it's only natural that I need to change some stuff around. Let's get to it. Okay, yeah, that seems pretty good. So now I'll do the same over here. The nose being difficult to decide, I feel like things are going pretty well today. already kind of just fixed up some small problems on a bunch of the corners there, and now I can just get to the last couple here. Since I didn't do very much with the upward turns yesterday, I got very tired. There was a lot to think about while I was doing the nose. And when your brain is very active, it gets very tired. That's okay, I kind of like being in those states. It's a good kind of tired, the kind of tired you get after a nice run. Working out my brain a little bit there. It's funny, I actually did go walking for the first time in a while yesterday, and I realized that, man, for all the progress that I was making during the summer and fall, winter put me right back to being out of shape because I couldn't really go walking very well anymore because it was too cold. And so I went walking yesterday, and now my legs are super sore. It wasn't even like a super intensive walk or anything. I mean, it was kind of long, but it was the same length that I was doing before winter. And, oh man, my legs are just so sore. That reminds me that down here I wanted to do something with the nostril out here. I forget if I actually did. Maybe I should have checked before I went and moved it a little. Yeah, we're fine. It's totally fine. My legs will be totally fine too, you know, tomorrow. But normally on days where my brain is just very, very fried because of all the nice creative stuff I've gotten to do that day, normally I sleep really, really well. But yesterday I actually had a bit of trouble because my legs hurt and I couldn't get comfortable. Could not get comfortable, no matter how hard I tried. It's okay, it just tells me that I need to go out and do that more. I really do not want my muscles to atrophy that hard, you know? It's not good for you. Okay, time to figure out what I'm gonna do with this. Oh boy. Just looking at it is making me go, man. My first time through I thought that was actually okay. Passway's got some taste issues, I swear. Alright, let's see here. How am I gonna do this? Okay, well I can see that there's already some shenanigans in this nostril here. It's... something is moving when it shouldn't be. Let's take a look. I'm gonna make sure all my numbers match. Right now they do not. 60 and 120, zeros. Okay. $60, 120, zeros. Okay. Now let's check the big one. 0. Okay, so I actually did want that one. So 0, 1, 0, zeros, 110, 130. 110, 130. Okay. So hopefully that'll fix the nostril weirdness. I might need to move them around a little bit. I'm actually kind of wondering. I'm gonna hide this. How do I feel about them? No, they seem okay like this. I just wanted to look at those 2 little nostril marks that she has and see if, without the nose texture, that they looked like they were in perspective. It's a little hard to tell just because, well, her nose looks a bit weird without the actual nose part. But I do think that, well, maybe not up here. Yeah, that does look a little bit strange up here, doesn't it? Yeah, they're actually pretty close together. Okay, we're gonna go back to the basics here and really try to get this looking like the regular, just central one here. Alright, let's go. Okay, and instead of moving this one over 4, let's move it over 2, and the other one over 2. Yeah, that still keeps them pretty close together. Okay, let's try that over here, where this is 2, and this is 2. Why does this one appear to have, like, different stuff attached to it? Do I move the small one on this side? I do. So you should also be -1. Okay. 2. 2, -1. 60, 90. 60, 90, 2, -1. Okay. So this is perfectly mirrored, but for whatever reason, it does not look like the other side to me. Maybe it's the big one that's I didn't mirror correctly. 2, 2, -1. 0, huh? 110, 1. 110, 1. 0, 0. Okay. Sorry, I'm just reading out like a whole bunch of numbers here and... trying to make sense of what I'm seeing. Yes, because you should be -2. There we go. I forgot, in order to be properly mirrored, that I have to use the opposite. Okay. That seems a little bit better. Now the nostrils are going to whoop. Look at them go. Look at them go. Let's see here. So we'll put this one over at a -2 as well. And I'll do the same on this side. Okay. Nostrils don't matter so much in the lower turns because I just scaled them down to 0. So they are completely hidden. She just has no nose. Okay. Let's turn the nose back on. And something's probably broke a little bit, but let's take a look here. Now at least the nostril shape should be a little bit more in perspective, so maybe that'll make my life easier in certain other places. Yep, things definitely broke right there, though. Oh man, look at that. Alright, let's scooch this guy on over. Let me think here. So, that little tip of her nose here, if her nostrils are up like that, I think that the tip part, the part that kind of curves around that I keep talking about, should actually be a little bit higher up here. So I'm gonna move it just a little bit higher. If I have to do that on the upward turn as well, I will. But I want to get it right here first. Maybe not quite like that. Look, I have a vision. I can see it in my head. I just need to make it happen. That might be okay. Maybe it's not, actually. Hold on here. Did I not move the nostrils right? Let me check that again. No, this is right. This seems right. Okay. Do I just not have the nose in the right place? Should I move it further this way? I wouldn't think so, because their chin is kind of tilting upward. And I don't know, I think it looks a little better like that, so I'll keep it, I suppose. And then I do think that the very top of the nose here is a little bit off. So I'll slide that over to the right here. Okay. Yes, I think I've mostly got it there. And I do think that this is looking better. So the big thing here that I was noticing was that this dark shadow under her nose on the left turn does not quite go this far. So I wanted to match up with that just a little bit better. You know, it's funny, the other day I was thinking about human nature in regards to small children, because I think small children are a really great way to look at human nature unfiltered. You know, before they start experiencing society and all of these other things, where they have to compromise a little bit more. Where, to their parents, they tend to be closer to the center of the universe. At least, this is how mine are. Because they are indeed kind of the center of the universe. They rule the house, let's be real. And, lately my daughter's had a thing where if I don't do exactly what she wants, she basically says that I'm a bad person. And I just always laugh at it because, oh man. I just do think that that is an excellent representation of what people tend to be like. Of just, problem people aren't, you know, some kind of objective morality or anything, but just, this person is doing something I don't like and I want them to stop. Because, you know, they can't just be doing something I dislike. They have to be a bad person about it. And I just think that is very funny. And what made me think about it was actually something involving my son. We went to an indoor play place yesterday. And there were some toys laying around, as you might expect, at an indoor play place. And there was a little boy that was playing with the toy that he wanted to play with. And he started complaining that this little boy wouldn't share. The thing is that the little boy was sharing. It's just, you know, he still wanted a toy to play with too, and there was plenty of toys for both of them. But my son just kept complaining about him not sharing. Just using this idea that has been taught via, you know, me, the TV, all these other things. And that, you know, if you're a good person, you share. And using that to try to get what he wants. And I just thought that was adorable. Very much human-natured, unfiltered. The rules say that I should be able to do what I want to get what I want. And because I can't, society is bad. So that was the thought that was amusing me today. Honestly, in general, I have been noticing a lot of justifications for good and evil are largely based around, I want to be able to do this thing, or I want people to be able to do this thing for me. So I want to come up with a structure that gets people to do these things. And I think it's deeply unfortunate. Okay. Completely unrelated to that. But now I guess it's time to go tackle the nose on this side. Alright, let's go. That's okay, after doing those other little bits, I think I have a good place to start here. When I was looking at it before, I was just like, man, this is totally wrong, but I don't know what to do with it. But now I'm realizing that I need the shadow to stay firmly on the left side. I cannot put it underneath the nostril on the right side. If I do, it will look wrong. I must respect how the original was drawn. You know, once again, I don't know any particular good or evil, but because I want this to look nice. There is no should here, just this is what it looks like and this is how I want it to be, so let's make it happen. Okay, yeah, that already made a huge difference. Look at that. Man, and that was just from getting the shadow away from the nostril on this side. I guess that'd be the left nostril, because we have to do things backwards in Rigging Land. We have to do things from the character's perspective. The one that doesn't exist, as opposed to the one that does exist. And here I am, laughing at genre conventions after, talking about people, using good or evil to justify doing the things that they want to do. And as for me, I prefer using my own perspective for naming things left and right. And thus I find reasons to complain about the convention. Ooh. Like I said, it is human nature. It is things we have to look out for. Well, hello there again, Pips. It's good to see you again. Yes, I've been doing quite well. I hope you're doing well, too. Anyway, have a nice lyric. I hope you have a good time with whatever you're working on. What are you drawing this time? Or painting? Yes, because you, are you still painting with acrylics? Oh, very nice. Oh, that's always fortunate. Good. I got the... You know, I figured that I'd have this done a while ago, but then I just keep finding things that I can keep improving. So I just keep doing that, and right now I'm just going back over the nose. And yes, that's always fortunate. It's nice... Maybe it's not nice to have a job, but it's nice to have an income. I guess it depends on what kind of job you have. Right. Forgot to move this over on the side. 49. There we go. Oh, that's good. Oh, it's always lovely when you can find jobs like that. I'm glad you were able to. What do you do? Oh, that does sound very lovely. Yeah, I'm glad that there are people that can do that. Yes, it sounds like it. That does sound like a lovely job to be able to have. I imagine sometimes it can be challenging depending on the disability, but I think it's great that there are people out there that are able to help kids that need it. Give them a chance to, you know, grow up to as best as they possibly can, despite their circumstances. Yeah. It's okay, they're doing their best. But that's exactly why they need adults to help them out. So that this way they'll be hopefully able to do the things that they want to do in the future. Yeah, it's a good way to be. They're definitely doing their best. I mean, even able-bodied and neurotypical kids don't always completely understand. So I can only imagine that ones that have certain difficulties with certain developmental areas would have an even rougher time. And it's definitely not intentional on their end. They are just doing their best. These are things that you learn. So I'm curious, what's your favorite part about your job? Oh no. Look, sometimes it's nice just to be fed. I can say that even as an able-bodied adult, I still like it when people get me water. I can totally get up and get my own water, but sometimes it's nice to let other people do things for you. They sound very cute. Aw. Oh, that really does sound wonderful. Oh, yeah. Yes. No, that is definitely progress. Even just being able to recognize that something is wrong, I think is a big step. Because at least with that awareness, he can actually do something about it. Okay. Hey, I'm perfectly happy to talk about this. This is adorable. But if you have work to do, I'll be happy to provide some lovely vibes to work to. Have a nice day, Pip. Wonderful. I would love to hear about it. Now you can go and listen to me complain about noses. Far less wholesome than helping children with disabilities. But here I am, just looking at this nose and being like, oh man, there's things that are wrong, but I don't know what entirely. While I just gradually try to break down every piece, bit by bit. Speaking of awareness of problems. I've been trying very hard to identify which parts I don't like, and easier said than done sometimes. So there's just, on the default view here, there's just this little curve on the nose, and it's throwing off so many things. Just little curve, denoting the tip of her nose. And when there are curves in the art here, sometimes rigging it can be a little bit of a pain. Especially if you want to keep a similar curve, or worse, want to change the direction of that curve. Art is hard. So I've just been going through and gradually picking out which parts are bothering me and just slowly but surely making it so less and less things are bothering me. It's working out. It's actually been going quite well. I'm just complaining because it's one of those art things that just make you want to tear your hair out. Alright. Guess I'll go in and start working on this outer nostril here. So I think I have things right enough that I can start really digging into the details here. So the first thing I want to do is just get the shape of this outer part of her nose right. And also how far underneath this, not the other nostril part, it should go. Because yeah, I do show a little bit more of the nose underneath the nose shadow underneath the nostril compared to how I do it in the lower views. Which makes sense, because when her head is tilted back, we see a little bit more of the underside of her nose. At least that's the idea. Okay, and I think I've mostly got it there. Just gotta kind of touch some things up and... Let me check the diagonal. Make sure that nothing is all wonky here. But no, seems okay. Alright. So now I can touch things up, make things smooth, and kinda get the exact shape I want on the ball of her nose there. That is the only part that I'd say is still a little bit off here. But yes, indeed, I was able to break it down piece by piece. And eventually just get it, after staring at it for a second and just being like, okay, let's go look somewhere else for a little bit. Let's allow myself to get distracted by everything else I can possibly think of. But I swear, these things are never as bad as my brain makes them out to be. Just gotta break it down a little bit. I still don't know if I like that shape, though. Another case of, it is a nose. It looks very nose-like. And it's totally fine. But I don't think it looks like this character's nose. I just don't think it matches up with how it looks in the original very well. Like, even when I move it, I can kind of see how I get to that point, and I don't think it looks super terrible, but once I get there, I don't know, it just does not look like her nose. This has been my struggle for the past 3 days while I've been trying to figure out how to get her nose in all these various angles. Okay. Like I said, I just gotta break it down, so let's see what I can break down here. What is making it not quite right? I think part of it is... yeah, the outer part of her nostril, it starts a little bit too low down. This might be a good spot to consult the mesh. Yeah, I am indeed lowering the vertex that, or am I? No, it's actually going up. Okay. Maybe that's not the issue then. No, that's definitely the issue. Okay. The joy of talking to yourself and arguing with yourself over things, but no, the shape of the outer nostril I do think is wrong. Where it starts, is it okay? Yeah, seems fine. Okay. I just gotta shape it a little bit better. Let's try to make this nice and pointy. Try to bring it to a nicer point underneath the actual nostril part there. The whole of the nostril, I guess. Show a little bit more shadow underneath there since we are looking underneath her nose, and I think that would look good. In theory. Do I want the edge of the nostril to be a little bit lower? Let me look. Maybe very slightly. So I think the corner needs to be just a touch lower. Okay, now that I look a little bit more closely, the texture that kind of makes up the bridge of the nose, I think, like, its location is at a good spot, but it needs to be a little bit thicker. This is where that weird, you know, place where the tip of the nose kind of digs into the side here and makes the shadow on the nostril just not quite triangular. It has a little piece digging into it. That's kind of where that is throwing me off again. Because the bridge needs to stick out a little bit more and make it look like the light part is digging into the shadow as opposed to just being a straight line, which is how I had it before. Okay, and then I want that part that sticks into the shadow to be nice and pointy as well. So let's get it nice and pointy. And also kind of where I think the tip of her nose should be. Okay, it's coming together. Slowly but surely, I'm seeing it happen. Okay, yeah, that looks a little bit more like her nose now. Still a little bit weird right here, but let me see it in motion before I go and fix that. Yeah, not too bad. I need to adjust the upper left angle in order to show a little bit more shadow underneath the nostril on the shadow side, just to make that end make a little bit more sense. But that is easy enough to do. It's always kind of funny with rigging and how changing something, even something small about one angle, will affect every other angle, even in indirect ways. Things just gotta match up. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Just clean up a few places here and there, and I'd say that'll be nose stuff done, but I need to put the head shadows back on, and the head shadows have some stuff that affect the nose as well. So, still got a little bit more to do there. I was actually specifically hiding the head shadows so that this way it would be easier to get the nose just right, and then I can adjust the head shadows knowing that the nose is the way I want it to be. But I do think the nose is looking better than what I had before. So that makes me happy. Hooray! Looking around. Okay, let's turn on some head shadows. I'm just going to take a look around because I had started adjusting them a little bit yesterday. So now I can just go in and finish that. I get the feeling that there's going to be a lot of mesh consultation because, oh boy, is this mesh messy. I'm sure I was thinking something when I meshed it like this, but I'm not quite sure what it was, if I'm being entirely honest. And if I'm being entirely honest, I'm still not quite sure. Nah, it tickled my throat there. I think I inhaled a bit of granola stuck in my teeth. Okay. I'm fine. But yes. I'm still not quite sure how I'd go about properly meshing some of these areas that do have some structure, but are more just atmospheric shadows and the like, where I'm not quite sure how they move, but they do need to move to an extent. And it's all just a very big mystery still. One of those things that I can still tell that I have a lot to learn. Okay, it's a good place to be. And I can actually see on the original that, yes indeed, the head shadows do affect the nose in very subtle ways. I can see that there's a little bit that actually goes under the tip of the nose that I do not have over here. So I should add that. I think that's the right place. That is the right place. Most excellent. It's hard to tell because everything here is just so transparent and subtle. I tried to keep the shadows very, very subtle because that's how the original artist drew this character. And while I think they look wonderful, sometimes they're a little bit hard to read. Okay, I can handle it. It's worth it for the absolutely wonderful effect that it puts on her skin. And I gotta say, all the problems that I had with the eyes on the right turn, every time that I would come here to work for the next day, I just see something's a little bit off about the eyes, but I can't tell what it is. And it turns out it was the nose the entire time. Because now that I've fixed up a lot of the problems on the nose, the eyes honestly look a lot better too. I never talked about it on stream while I was thinking about it. I think I mentioned a couple of times that I wanted to go back and revisit the face, but I was going to do more hair first. And that was about the extent of what I talked about. But I did keep looking at the eyes and just seeing this small problem that I couldn't identify. And eventually I was able to track it down to problems with the nose. So that was worth taking my time on. Yeah, that looks really nice now. You know, the fact that I hid the front bang because it was throwing me off a side. Okay. So now I'll just go adjust head shadows on all the other turns, too. I think I've got enough in me today to keep doing that. I'm glad that it's getting warm enough where I live to start walking again. It's not only is walking enjoyable in its own right, but I've been wanting to increase my own personal stamina. I am extremely out of shape. So I've been wanting to do that. And walking is a great first step. The great thing about increasing your stamina is that it'll improve your stamina in pretty much all areas of your life. So I'm hoping that as I get a little bit better in that regard and get more into shape, that I'll be able to handle, you know, longer rigging sessions and stuff like that. That'd be pretty sweet. I feel like so much of life is just figuring out what you want to do and then just moving in that direction. You don't gotta do it all at once. You just gotta move in the right direction. So if you just keep taking things one step at a time, you know, eventually you'll get there. In theory. I guess strictly speaking, you could die first, and that'd be kind of unfortunate, wouldn't it? Okay. Yeah, I feel like everything's kind of coming into place here. I'm paying a bit more attention to where all of these tiny little shadows go. More so than I was the first time that I started rigging her face. I don't know, as I've been working for this, I just keep noticing more and more things. I've said in the past that I am a relative beginner with rigging and this program and everything, so I think I'm just picking up things a little bit faster than my brain knows what to do with it. And so then I just keep seeing new things, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll make this look a little bit better, and we'll make this look a little bit better, and more things are making sense to me now that I'm actually going in and doing things. You can learn a lot from tutorials, but there really is no substitute for just doing it yourself. There are certain things that just cannot be conveyed properly via any kind of tutorial. What is causing this? There's a line around her nose that is way more prominent. In my turns there, are my vertices just too close together? Are they too far apart? Whoa, didn't expect that. Okay, I think I see what's causing it though. A bunch of vertices just slid upward. Quite a lot, and it's causing problems. So let's go ahead and slide them back down. Yeah, I think this part is actually supposed to go underneath her eyes. This is the downside to using the brush to move things around. Sometimes it's a little overzealous. But it's so much more convenient than moving each vertex just one at a time. Yeah, there we go. That's looking much better now. Although now that I've seen that, I can't unsee it on the right side too, so I guess I should go fix it there as well. Alright, looking good. Let's take a look at her cheeks now. Because yeah, the cheeks on the left side are not quite right yet. To be fair, I did move them around a little bit today. And then there's this weird thing. I don't know what that is. It's definitely in the head shadows, though. I can tell. I guess it's just having a little bit of a hard time because I'm having to compress so many of the darker shadows over here, since her head is turning to the left. The left side is just the side that has, like, all of the shadows. So now I need to find a nice way to spread them out just right. I'm also realizing that I need to clean my monitor again. Because I keep seeing some little bits of dirt and stuff that I just need to wipe off. And confusing it for weird bunching spots on the subtle shadows here. Never did I need to keep my monitor so clean as I did once I started rigging. So the shadows over here are supposed to be a very, very gentle gradient. But just because of the vertices getting a little bit grouped up together, I'm having a hard time getting that effect on her cheeks that I want. Because, man, when you get it right, it looks so good. But when it's wrong, it's just... yeah. Little spot right there that just does not know what to do. Okay. Let's try to give this little spot what it wants. And I believe that is just more personal space. I don't blame it. I appreciate my personal space too. So, let's see if we can spread out the vertices in this area just a little bit. It helped. I think I have to do the same up and down. Might be about as good as I can get here. I would have liked the shadows on the cheeks to match up with the center just a little bit more, but I'm not sure if I can get that and still keep them buttery smooth like that. I will try just a little bit longer here. I guess here still looks okay. We'll see what the me of tomorrow thinks, but I think it still looks okay right now. And it matches up a little bit better. Okay, I'll take it. And now I'm also realizing that the shadows are a bit low, so I need to raise them up here just a little bit. But other than that, I think all is well. All is a little bit less low. Well, now that I moved them up, okay. Gotta take a look at that. Oh man, it really is just so hard to get just right. Okay, let's consult the mesh, see if it can help me compress these vertices just a little bit better. Looks like it at least has a couple of ideas for me, so thank you, Mesh, and thank you for your services. Alright, I think that's a pretty good spot to leave it. So let's go take a look at the up and down turns. And I think I wanted to go and do both of the left ones before I go and do both of the right ones, just because the left side is a bit harder to do. With all the compression that goes on in that layer, it is much harder than the right side. But I want to get my up and down turns good here before I go and do that. Just because I want to be able to line things up with all 4 cardinal directions before I start really digging into the corners. I just find that a little bit easier, unless I'm specifically doing something at the corner to map out onto one of those 4 directions, which does happen sometimes. Fortunately, the up and down ones actually look pretty okay. There's just a few shadows around the nose that I want to get. At some point, I might also take another look at her eye sockets, the shadows around them. Because I'm realizing that they're squirming around quite a bit, and there might be something I can do about that. I never really worried about it too much because most of it is covered up by hair, but maybe I should worry about it a little bit more than I currently am. I think that is a decision for future me to make, though. I think present me is going to go ahead and finish up these shadows on my up and down turns, and then I will stop there for today. I'm actually amazed at the number of subtle little shadows around the nose here that I never really noticed before. But here we are. Like this little guy right here. You can barely see it, but I see it very clearly when it moves. I think that is supposed to sit like right under the nose. Tell me where exactly those shadows should start. It's actually very convenient once you're able to notice it. Let you know if your vertices are a bit too high or a bit too low. Okay, and then I think I just want these cheek shadows on the lower turn to be a little bit nicer. Right now I think they're a little bit too low, a little bit too compressed. Need to spread them out a little bit. Give all these vertices all the personal space they desire. Alright, I can tell that there's still some issues, but I think I might need to sit on that for a day. My eyes are starting to have some trouble picking out certain parts. Let me see here. At least try to get the one that's bothering me the most out of there. Well, yes. Yeah, that's probably going to take a little bit more effort to really clean up properly. Because the cheeks are not quite doing what I want them to do. On the bright side, the jawline looks great. It still does. I think I did a pretty good job with that the first time through. So, once I figure out some of the smaller details around the nose and the cheeks, I think that'll make for some very nice things. But at the very least, I'm glad that I figured out that there were no problems with the eyes themselves. It was just a matter of getting the nose in the right place. Yeah. Yay. Okay. But I think I will stop here for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I'll see you all tomorrow.